Hi, welcome back to my channel, Fabulously Frugal and Fancy. I'm Brandy. Today's video, Christmas, Christmas, Christmas. We are into that season where it's time to craft for Christmas, and I enjoy crafting for Christmas. I really do. It just seems like it comes earlier every year to me, but today's video is all about nutcrackers, some nutcracker crafts, there we go, that I did, and I would like to just share these with you. If you love nutcrackers as much as I do, then I think that you will love these. Let's go make something fabulous.
Alright, so here I have two nutcrackers, and these were the red and white ones. I got these from Walmart. I did have my boyfriend cut them in half. He used the miter saw. However, if you had to cut this by hand, I would recommend a coping saw. And I can have that linked in the description box below. But the nutcrackers are pretty easy to cut apart. It's a pretty soft wood. But the only ones I was able to find were these red and white ones for $10. Actually, that's not true. There were some plain wood ones that I would have preferred to have, but those were $25 at Michael's, and I didn't like that price. So I got ones that did not match the decor that I was planning on, because I'm making these for my mom and my sister. And so I just decided to paint them and redo all of the colors. This one took a little more time because I had to cover all the red with the blue, which did take some time. And I just gave it 3 or 4 good coats wherever the red was. And I just, I used a metallic blue paint. It comes from Walmart. It's not real expensive. It's, a dollar something a tube. A few dollars a tube. I'm not sure exactly because I buy so many different paints from Walmart and everywhere else. But I know these aren't real expensive. These metallic paints are not real expensive. But it did take 2 or 3 coats to cover the areas there. And I just wanted to cover all the red with the blue. And I use blue and silver because that is going to my mom. And my mom decorates her dining room in blue, white, and silver. So I wanted to do blue and silver for hers. The other one is for my sister, and that one, she likes the black and red buffalo check. And so I didn't want to do buffalo check necessarily, but I did do black and red and gold. And so I just go over each area and paint it. As you can see, that took a little bit of painting, but I just cut that out. On the black and red one, I did draw on the little checkerboards on the legs and on the hat. Not on the legs, but on the base and on the hat. And then I just added some gold, what are they, gem stickers that come from Dollar Tree. And I just added that gold trim. I didn't show you all of that on video because it was a lot, and this video is getting pretty long. So I cut some of that out. And I just go in with my black paint marker and touch up where I got the blue. And then I'm just going to decorate that one like I did the red and black one. The red, black, and gold one, I added the trim to. I did decorations all around. Anywhere that I thought a little jewel and a little glitter would look good. So then I take the silver paint marker and I just do the same to the blue one. Some of it had gold because the original one had gold, and so I just go in with the silver and I paint all the little trim areas with the silver paint marker. I love paint pens. You can really do a lot of detail work with them, and I love the metallic colors because they are just very shimmery, very bright. They don't take a lot of coats with the metallic paint markers. You can actually do usually just 1 coat with them, and it covers really well. So I like those. I use those for a lot of things. They're easy to control the direction of the paint, unless you push down too hard on the tip, and then a lot of paint will come out. I've done that before too, and had to kind of work quickly to spread that paint around before it ran over the side. I'm just adding the silver wherever I feel like it needs the silver. And then I go in with some of the silver gem stickers from Dollar Tree. I also use some diamond wrap that I got from Amazon, and also some crushed what is it called? Crushed rhinestone ribbon, also from Amazon. So this was actually pretty easy. This part was really fun for me. It was just a lot of, you know, putting the sparkle where I wanted the sparkles. So I just add little pieces here and there around the legs, around the jacket part. I did actually make a mistake on the blue and silver one. I did not notice it until I was actually getting things ready to put this video together. I saw it in the picture and then I looked at it. So I actually ended up leaving it that way, because there's a decoration on one side of his jacket. If you can see right there, there's a little bit of blue and silver like boxes. I actually left those boxes out of the other side of the jacket. But again, I did not notice that until I was editing this video. But I am actually just going to leave it. I don't really think it's that noticeable. Other people have seen it and not mentioned that. But it'll be a nice little conversation piece if it's not perfect anyway. So that's okay by me. And I just take some of this the diamond stickers. It's diamond ribbon, and I'm just cutting it in strips, and then I just wrap, excuse me, around the different areas. I wrap it around his staff, I wrap it around his legs, and then just all over his jacket, his hat, anywhere I think a little bling would be in order. It turns out that I like the shimmer and the shine. I like it all the time anyway. I just like it even more at Christmas time. And then I just go around the jacket anywhere I think. I go around the belt, I go around top and the bottom of the jacket. I just put it anywhere and everywhere around his hat, around the little tip of his hat. And then I also use the crushed rhinestones around his middle piece and what would be probably his like cummerbund area, I guess, if you want to call it something. Now, my thought was to make these nutcrackers into a tiered tray, and we tried a couple of different ways. I got help from my boyfriend on this. He did the cutting, and then I was honestly going to try to glue these nutcrackers to some glass plates, and he did not think that would work just because of the sealant and the coating that's on the glass plates. Like, it's a glaze on the glass plates, and I did get the glass plates from Dollar Tree. So he suggested that we try to get some drills and we drill holes so we could screw in to the plates. I'll show you that in just a little bit, but that was proving a lot more difficult simply because the blades that we got, we did not want to spend a lot of money, and so the blades that we got, or the drill bits or whatever you want to call them, were not anywhere near powerful enough, and they're called diamond tip, and I'll show you those in just a moment. But the diamond tip that we got them at Harbor Freight. They would work for like a small job, but it's not gonna work for a big job like this. So it was just taking a long time to try to drill the hole, and so finally we just set that aside and went with a different plan. So I'll show you that in just a moment. And here I'm just adding some of that crushed rhinestone. That does not have any stickiness on the back. The diamond stickers does have the sticky on the back, so I'm just using E6000 to attach that. And again, I'm just adding bling anywhere where I think a little bit of sparkle would fit, and I love a little bit of sparkle, so All right, so this is the next section where we are about to drill in, and this is my dog Mo, and she's sitting in the shed with us. Here's our pieces, and there's the glass plate. Here's some of the diamond tip rotary cutter bits, and then this is the drill bit that we got. And they would have worked for a smaller job, but after doing this for a while, like he was really drilling and drilling and drilling. And I only show you just a little clip of this so you can see our mistake, but literally he was drilling for probably 45 minutes and the hole still had not gone all the way through. So we scratched this idea and then we went with a different idea. See, he's just trying to work the hole through. He's pushing down hard. It just wasn't working. So then we tried these plastic trays from Walmart. This plastic was really brittle and we couldn't get them secure. If you can see this, this is how, once it was finished, he's just showing you there how it wiggles, and that didn't work. So then we start again. We get these plastic plates from Walmart, and we start in the center of the plate, and we found also out, we kind of did this the wrong way. If you start, center the top piece first on the center of the plate. The plate has a little indentation in the middle, so it's easy to, he just drills right through it. His round disc that he uses, those are actually scrap pieces from when he was using his hole saw. So they already had a hole right in the center, and that worked out perfectly. Here we're just marking the bottom of the Nutcracker, so he can drill a hole up through the bottom of the Nutcracker in the center, and then that Nutcracker will be centered on the plate because he's going to use screws, and I believe he uses Spax screws, if that's the correct word, because they have a flatter head. That, anyway, this plastic was a lot more pliable, wasn't as brittle as those plastic trays. So here he's just using his drill, drilling a hole in the center. And then this round disc, what we did is we attached the round disc to the legs, found the center of the plate, just so that we could go ahead and do that. So we already had the center. And then we put the legs on the, we're just trying to find the center point of the legs so that we can screw through that little wood piece. We screw the wood piece to the tops of the legs, and then we can put a screw through up from the bottom of the little wooden disc up through the plate and up through the top of the Nutcracker. So if that makes sense, if it doesn't, just watch what he's doing here. Because again, this was trial and error, and this was try number 4 or 5 that we finally got this correct. So I wanted to show you this so that he's just drawing some circles around the legs so that he can get those centered. And he put that center hole that was in the very middle in between the center of the legs of the Nutcracker so that we could center everything on the top plate. We tried it the other way. We started at the bottom, and if you center that base piece, your top will not be centered because the feet are not, it didn't work because the body of the Nutcracker, you have to have it centered at the top first and then work your way down. It just worked out a lot better that way. He did some, he was showing you there that he, oh, and I forgot what it's called. He embedded the screw in the top. There is an actual word for it, and I forgot what that is called. But he used the drill bit to put a little bit of a groove in the top of the wood, and he was able to put those drill heads down in far enough to where it would still lay flat at the top. And I cannot think of what that word is at the moment. So then he's just drilling holes down through the legs so that he's pre-drilling the holes so that he can screw the screw down inside. And if you're not holding the bottom, it does twist out of your hand just like it did for him there. All right, so he does that twice, one on each leg. And we purposely took the legs out of the bottom because it helped us line up the screws underneath in those little holes that the legs go into. We'll show you that in just a moment. But all right, so here's the legs. He tightens those up, and then the screw kind of went down there into that little groove. Here is pre-drilling some holes in the center of the holes where the feet would go. I call them feet even though the feet are actually attached to the wood, but you know what I mean. All right, so here we're just discussing how to get it centered because we needed the foot holes are going to be right at the edge of the right by the center of the plate so that it all stands straight and centered. Even though that bottom base piece will not be actually be centered on the plate, the whole Nutcracker itself is centered in the plate this way. This is how we figured it out because we actually made the first one a little crooked. So then we had to take it apart and do it just like we did with this one. So he's just putting a little screw in the bottom of this plate up through the very center so that he can line up holes, so he can pre-drill the holes and that they're all even with the center of the plate. So he just takes a little screw, and we couldn't find a little screw, so he actually took it out of my glue gun. He took the screw out of the side of my glue gun, put it in the plate, and then he puts it right back into the glue gun. So sometimes you just have to work with what you have really close at hand. His tools, he did not bring much downstairs with me. He was not sure exactly what he would need, and I did not have any screws handy. So he just puts that little screw in there for just a moment, just to hold it still so then he can do this. And he can just drill a hole down through the bottom of the plate so he can screw up. The screw will go from the bottom of the plate up through the base, up through the foot, into the leg, and it holds it all together. So after he repaired my glue gun again, he put the screw right back in. I was not real happy he was taking the screw out, but he did put it right back in. So, because I was worried it would get lost and then my glue gun would not be perfectly, I don't know if it would work perfectly without the screw in it. So all right, so then he's just drilling up through the hole he pre-drilled in the bottom so that he can drill up into the leg. And it's just very sturdy there. It's all very sturdy. But see, there's some excess stuff there, excess paint, and they weren't fitting all the way down in. So he's just using his box cutter and he's just scraping away any of the excess so that those feet will fit back down into the holes. And he just pushes them down in and makes sure that they are forwards instead of backwards. And then we go back to the top, and he's already got the hole drilled in the plate. Remember, we did that earlier. And he's just putting the screw through there. You do need more than two hands, so even if I was doing this by myself, we couldn't have done it. And I'm just holding that, and I'm sorry about the angle, but I believe we switch it over. We do turn it sideways here. He was just pulling out his extender so that it would fit up in between the legs of the Nutcracker. And then we've already got the hole pre-drilled in the top of the Nutcracker. And he just screws it in from the bottom. I make sure it's totally lined up, top to bottom, and then he just tightens the screws up. Looking good so far, and we are almost finished with this. Remember, he's already pre-drilled the holes through the plate at the bottom. He's already pre-drilled the base of the Nutcracker and up into the legs. So he uses 2 screws. And and I believe these are the Spax screws. And again, I hold it still and he just lines up the holes that he pre-drilled. And you just drill it up through the bottom. Now we did end up going, because the base all of the screws are in the back and we did not use any glue. So we used some smaller screws and go up. We did it off film and go up to the front of that stand just to re-secure it. Here's the red and black and gold one. I love how this turned out. He is the keeper of the cupcakes. He's going to be the guard of the desserts, and I really like how this turned out. Here's the blue and silver one. I'm trying to show you a little bit of the final detail here. I did add some bling around the edge of that plate. I did that on both of them. I love how this turned out. I loved how the red and gold one turned out. I put the little feet on the bottom. I guess I didn't show you that. I'm sorry about that. I painted the little wooden feet. Alright, so I used these Nutcrackers here, and I got these at Hobby Lobby. I just showed you those real quick. Now, I use these wood pieces that I got from Hobby Lobby as well. They're square bases and round bases, and I use this metallic gold paint. I've used a lot of metallic gold paints, and this stuff is just, it was one coat, was very thick. Now, I took these out to the miter saw, and I chopped off the tops of their hats. See, here's one of the pieces. And I just cut them on the miter saw. It was pretty easy. Just cut them so that they have a flat surface. And then I'm matching them up to see, okay, so I want the ones that have a square bottom to have a square bottom. And then I'm going to use the round one on the top. We are going to turn these Nutcrackers into pillar candle holders. I use this, just this scrap piece of paper here as a, just a mat to paint on, because I didn't want to get paint on my cutting mat. And this paint is pretty thick. Like I said, it took one coat and one coat only, and the gold was very, non-see-through. So I was very surprised. Usually with metallic paints, I have to do several coats of those to get the thickness and the, opaqueness, so that it's not see-through. I want the gold to go through, so a lot of times you have to use several different colors. Now here's all of those painted, and again I'm taking the ones with a square bottom and I am putting them on a square base so that they match the bases there. Now my gold do not match, and that's okay. I mean, you can, if that really bothers you, you could really, do whatever. I use this Gorilla wood glue, and this stuff is really, really good. I've never used the Gorilla wood glue before, and I'm just putting some on the bottom. And I did use too much at first, and then I learned as I went on that I don't need nearly as much as what I first started with, because a lot of that just squished out. And I end up wiping a lot of that off. I just put the base on the bottom there. I line everything up, make sure it's lined up. Hold it for a minute, and then see, here's where it all starts to ooze out, and I'm using a paper towel to get all the excess off. And you have a little bit of time to work, which is good because it doesn't set up immediately. It honestly didn't take it too long. I think like a full hour, and it was like completely solid. And it probably takes, 24 hours your stuff to like fully cure, but it really worked out well. So then I'm just trying to see exactly how I want the top part to go. It's not set up yet, so it is still moving around a little bit. So you got to just make sure that you check every once in a while and readjust. Now here's the part I just kind of, got it to where it was straight. And the good thing about this Gorilla wood glue is that it does dry clear. So if it comes out a little bit, it's not a major deal. I ended up actually leaving that, and it dried clear. Now I'm just showing you here how I matched the round base with a round base. Now here I'm taking some Jenga blocks because I want to make some bases for some smaller ones. At first I was going to make them for these here, but I changed my mind on that and go with a larger base for these as well. But I did go ahead and make some of the smaller bases. I lined up 3 of these Jenga blocks, tumbling tower blocks, whatever you want to call them. I'm just trying to measure first to see how many I'm going to need. And again, I don't use these on these Nutcrackers, but I do use them on others. So I line up 3 going vertically and glue those together side by side. I'm just trying to get this size. I'm trying to figure out what is the best size for this one, and I do want those to be pillar candles, so I'm like, well, that's too small. But then I had these nutcrackers that were unfinished, and I'm testing those to see how large I need these. And again, I lined up 3 going vertically, and it's like the perfect size base for these. And I did do some with 2 stacks of tumbling tower blocks. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. And some with only 1 stack, so that my candles are at different heights, candle holders, and ultimately the candles too. So I take 3 vertically and 3 horizontally, and I stack one on top of the other, going in the opposite direction, so that just gives it more of a base. This wood glue comes out pretty easily. I just had hand surgery not too long before this, and my hand strength is still not built up the way it should be. So I'm just lining these up because it's taking me both hands to use the wood glue and getting as many on there as possible. At first I just squeeze them on, and then I grab a paintbrush and kind of smooth it out so not so much is oozing out, because I really don't want it oozing out and sticking to my rubber mat there that I have. So there's one that I stacked double. I did 3 on top, 3 on bottom, but I put them in opposite directions. The bottom one's going horizontal, the top one's going vertical, just to, so that they would be a little bit more stable. And then I have to clean up my mess here because I really used way too much glue at first with these. And then I still keep trying to do it with one hand, and then I get frustrated with myself because I don't have the hand strength. I'm building that back up, so constantly using a stress ball every day just to squeeze and try to build up that hand strength a little at a time, but I'm getting there. I don't have any soreness or anything anymore. I'm just still building up the strength in my hand. And so I just kind of do an assembly line here where I'm putting several, and then I use a little paintbrush. Actually, this paintbrush was actually kind of hard. I guess I didn't clean it very well, so I was like, oh well, I can use this for the wood glue. It's not going to bother me if if I ruin it, because I feel like it's already kind of ruined. And I just smoothed out that wood glue so that there wasn't so much that it would ooze out. And then I'm getting the excess off of that one and just putting it on there as well. And I'm doing the tops of some too, so that, tops and bottoms, so that I can stack those as well. And then these are my stacks, my double stacks. So 3 going vertically, 3 going horizontally, and I'm just lining those up. So I want 3 of the double stacks and 3 of the single stack tumbling tower block, because these are going to be my bases for my unfinished nutcrackers, because with these we're going to make candle holders as well, but we're going to make taper candle holders out of the unfinished ones, and of the ones that are all painted and decorated, those are going to be pillar candle holders. I believe I mentioned in the intro, if you did not see my video last year where I made tier trays out of nutcrackers, check those out. Check that video out. I'm going to link that in my description box below so that you can go back and watch that video and learn how to make a tiered tray. Now that one's a little bit more complex than these are. These are pretty simple, and I didn't need a lot of help. I did cut these, like I said, the nutcrackers, I took them out to the miter saw, and I was able to cut those just fine on my own. If you don't have a miter saw, you could use like a hand saw. Even a miter box would probably be best, because then you can at least keep it in a straight line, because you want the tops of the nutcrackers hats to be completely flat. You don't want them, obviously you're going to put a candle up there, so you want them flat so you can glue your base and your top part on there. So as you can see, I'm just finishing this up. I'm making the 3 single stacked ones, and I have 3 of the single stack and 3 of the double stack there. I'm just setting those there to dry. All right, now I took the Nutcrackers outside and I cut off the tops of their hats, and this one, his head fell off. I did not intentionally do that, but it was not glued on very well. This set of 6 came from Amazon. They were not very expensive. I think it was like $7 for the 6 of these. So I think they're pretty inexpensive. So I just added some wood glue, some of the Gorilla wood glue. I really love this wood glue. Holds very well. And I glue his head back on so that you never know that I ripped his head off. Now these taper candle holders I did get from Hobby Lobby. They were on sale. You can get their unfinished wood pieces on sale there quite often. You just have to watch for them. And see that I'm just showing you there how they'll fit right on top. So again, I set it up as an assembly line because I still don't have the hand strength. Alright, so I just get wood glue on the bottoms of all of those, and then I flip them over to go on top of the Nutcracker hat, and I just want to make sure that they are centered as much as possible. I really like how these candle holders all turn out. They just turn out very cute, and I love Nutcrackers, so if you are not a Nutcracker person, then this video may not be for you, but if you are a Nutcracker enthusiast like me and my mom and my sister, we all love them. So I do make several of these because some of them I'm giving away, some of them I'm keeping. So you don't have to make as many if you don't want to. I believe that you can find these unfinished wood Nutcrackers. Some people say they can find them at Dollar Tree, some people Family Dollar. So here I'm showing you my 2 bases. I couldn't find these anywhere, so I ended up getting them at Amazon, like I said. And I'm just adding some of the wood glue to my bases here, and then centering that Nutcracker on its base. Again, as you can see, I made them at varying heights. I made them in sets of 2, so one shorter, one taller. And here's everything glued together. These are the smaller ones. And then I took these Nutcrackers outside and I spray painted them all gold. And here is the final product. Here are the 3 largest Nutcrackers. And again, I really like how these turned out. As you can see the detail there. I love these. I really do love these. Just giving you a final look. Here's the 5 largest ones. There's 2 smaller ones here, and I didn't have enough pillar candles on hand, so I put some plants on top just to give you an idea. And then when I was filming, I did not have any taper candles at hand at all, so you do not see any candles in the others. You just see the candle holders. I apologize for that, but sometimes you're working with what you have on hand at the moment, and you don't want to go out to the garage and empty out all your Christmas decor to find them. So here's each set of 2 of the taper candle holders, one slightly taller than the other, and just a plain, simple, solid gold. I really love how these turned out. Let me know what you think.
All right, so what did you think of the Nutcrackers that we made today, that we used Nutcrackers to make the crafts with? I hope that you enjoyed these. I know that I did. I would ask you, if you are not subscribed, to please hit that subscribe button. It's completely free. It doesn't cost you anything, but it really does help me out. Also, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of these. Even if your comment is just a little emoji, you can do that as well. That's not a problem. So, sorry, I was looking at my computer screen over there. It flashed at me, so I was just trying to make sure I was still recording. But if you, again, are not subscribed, please subscribe. I am very, very close to 1,000 subscribers. I'm so excited. I hope to be there before Christmas. And I'm over 900 now at this point, so I think that we can get there. Again, if you're not subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, the notification bell. I have a lot more videos coming your way, all Christmas. Just a lot of different Christmas crafts over the next few weeks, and then Christmas decorating beginning in November. I'm excited, and I hope you are too. Until the next time, you have a blessed day. Bye.